Alright, so I'd like to talk now about the game loop as described in beginning C++. This is towards the end of chapter 2. Um, the game loop, here's a picture of it. The game loop is a general framework that just about every kind of game you can think of follows this basic sequence. So I'll just walk through it real quick. There's this at the beginning of the game there's a setup, and this might be like a welcome screen, instructions, some backstory about what the game's about. Then the next piece is the next thing we need to do is get player input. So this might be from the keyboard, a mouse, a joystick, a trackball, whatever you're using to capture player input. Then you need to go through and update the game internals. So this might be using like a physics engine. So if you have a ball in the air, you need to decide how fast it's falling, and so exactly where it's going to be in the next frame, basically. So you use physics for that, or you might have enemies that the player has to fight, and you might be using AI, so you might have some kind of AI engine that's used so the enemies can decide what to do when the player makes a particular move. Then the next thing after that is to update the display. So this physics and AI stuff, when it says it's internals, it's things that are happening to the model of what's going on. It's the display is a separate, generally a separate step. Um, Especially when you have these intensive graphics games and stuff like that. This is a whole big piece that you need to be really careful about. How much time you're consuming and all that stuff. So, or it could just be drawing text to the screen, which is going to be the example we're going to see next. Um, then after you update the display, you can check and see if the game's over or not. Okay. Um, Typically, as the games get more complex, you'll want to. So here we have we want to see if the game's over. If it's not over, we continue playing until the game's over, basically. Okay. So we'll loop back. So this is the loop part here. If the game's not over, we're going up here, right? Um, Typically, in a more complex game, you want to have the option of adding your score to the list of high scores, or playing again or something like that. So there'd be like a separate check to see if we're done with the application, basically, right? So you might have a game over and then quitting application or something. But anyway, this is the basic one that we're working with now, and then the last piece is to just shut down, um, and basically, this is where you want to free up any resources or that you've been holding on to, and just close out the application. So that's the basics of the game loop.